Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Tim Swain, and you guys have been asking me about real estate, real estate, real estate. I got you today. This is Ghana Real Estate 101. Kweku, listen, we have been communicating for a long time, but I'm so grateful that you took some time to be with me today. So thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank you, Tim. It's a pleasure.
All right, so for the folks that are seeing you for the first time, do us a favor, please. Let us know your name and how many years have you been in real estate?
Well, so my name is Kweku. Kweku Ochiramankwa. Yeah, as the name implies, I'm an Ashanti. Yes, so probably I will start with how I got into real estate. Then
That would be a great question. Yeah, yeah.
So I tried acquiring property, that is land, which is the real. So when we talk about real estate, the real is actually the land.
Mm.
The other things, the permanent building and any other things are the secondary, but the real is the land. So I decided to buy land. And the first one didn't go through. I lost it. Why? Because I was told the person who sold the land to me wasn't the rightful person to sell that land to me.
Mm.
And I'm going to chase after the money and other things was so much of a problem. So I had to just forget about it. I tried a second time and I lost the property again. So yeah, that caused me to now think about what are the reasons. How could I be losing property money like that? So I started investigating, trying to know so much about how to acquire land, and this led me into real estate actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, that's interesting because so many people, when there's a problem, so many people leave it at the problem. But it looks like you saw a problem, but you decided to turn it into an opportunity, not just for yourself, but helping a lot of other people that we're going to get into later. So you had these challenges in real estate. You decided to be in the real estate business. Now, what areas are you involved in concerning real estate?
Well, so currently I'm into the real, as I said, which is the first step, land acquisition. I've realized it's a very big challenge for even the indigenes and then people who want to also come and stay here in Ghana. So I decided to learn so much about that, because when you get the first thing, which is the land, the others just follows. It's easy for you to continue with that. So that's where I am right now. I want to perfect that very portion of real estate.
Okay. So let's start with land ownership acquisition. Let's start specifically with the person that's coming from the outside, the non-citizen, that maybe they visited Ghana, they love it, and now they want to buy a piece of land because they want to have some home in Africa. What are the basics, the first steps that they need to know if they're interested in buying land right here in Ghana?
So in no particular order, I'm just going to talk out of. I think first of all, when you find a land that you're interested in, try to know who owns it. Is it the government? Is it an individual? Is it a company, a real estate company? Is it the chieftaincy? Because the chief also have lands. Is it a family land? That is the first step. You should find out who owns the allodial title to that particular land. Allodial is the original title of the land. I think that's the basic, that's the first thing that you need to do. The second thing is to try to know, your rights in acquiring the land. What can you use them for?
Okay.
Yeah, because most people do not ask those questions. We do have land, but then they are all meant for particular purposes. So you should find out what purpose can you use the land for. Is it agricultural? Is it building? Is it entertainment? Whatever it is, you should find out. Thirdly, you should try and do some search. Try to gather as much information that you can, because they will not tell you everything, but you would have to ask the necessary questions to get all the documents that you need. And then you subject the documents to search through the Lands Commission. And so the search report will tell you if that land is vacant, if it's the government land, whatever it is, if it has been given to other people in the previous years, you should know. You'll be able to know the number of years, the lease years that is left on the land. And then the fourth thing I would advise anybody to do is that engage a lawyer.
Engage a lawyer. So let me go back to your first point. You said the first thing you need to do is find out who has ownership over the land.
Exactly.
So imagine I come to Ghana, I see a piece of land, I have a friend. My friend says, hey, my dad has, 20 acres. And actually, Tim, because I like you, I'm going to give you 1 acre for this amount of money. Should I just, because this has happened before, this is why I'm asking.
Exactly.
So how would I actually go about finding out if his dad actually owns how will I know that? How can I do that?
So first thing is just have a conversation with the person. So how did you come about owning this land? He will tell you some stories, and then you will try to do other investigation. You see, every land has a boundary.
Okay.
The other boundary belongs to someone else. Try to know who owns the other land there. Talk to the person and find out who owns the particular land you are interested in. When everything points to the fact that that person you spoke to the first time owns it, that is the first place to start. And then now ask him to bring you all the documents that he has on the land.
Now, for the documents, let's say he owns the land. Now he's bringing me the documents. What should I be looking for? Like, what are the documents called that he should bring me to verify that whoever owns this land actually owns the land?
All right, so the first thing is the site plan.
Okay.
Or indenture, as we call it. So the site plan will indicate the boundary line, the acreage of the land, and then whether they own it, it will all be spelled out in the indenture that he will bring. Some people will come without any indenture. They will tell you it's a virgin land, we've never done anything on that. Then it calls for you to ask a surveyor. That is if you are really interested, but let them know that that cost will be on the person. If you're buying, you end up buying, it will be on, it's not going to be your cost, it should be the cost of those people selling the land to you. You would have to deduct it from whatever money they are asking you to pay for the land. You bring a surveyor, an independent surveyor, to pick the points, and then you subject it to verification through the lands department. So when the result comes and you're satisfied with it, that even I would advise here that you go for a legal person, because they can be funny at times,
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely heard some stories where people have been very excited. They didn't do the due diligence.
Yeah.
They said, oh, my friend is such and such, and his father's a chief. He likes you. He's just going to give you some land. They actually started building on the land to realize, hey, the land was given away like 4 times.
Exactly. That's what actually happens here. So that's why I said in the beginning that you need to know who owns the allodial title, because even with the titles, especially let's say Accra, it's been passed on from generation to generation. And Accra, it used to be 99 years. Now with the real estate, they are giving 50 years. Others are even giving 25 years. So you should know the lease terms of the land. How many more lease terms does the property has to go?
Okay, so for someone watching this saying that, okay, the land is leased for 99, 50, or 25 years, well, what happens then if I build a house, but my lease is 50 years and I want to be here more than 50 years? Does that mean that after that 50 years, even though I bought this home and bought this land, everything is taken away?
No. So in the contract or in the land, the new land bill, you have the right, the first right to renew it. Except you said that no, I'm no more interested in it. But then it's always up to you to go back to them for renewal for another 50 years or 25 years, as is spelled out in the contract.
Now, what happens? Let's take 99 years.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that any one of us will be here
No.
at 99 years.
Yes.
At least most people watching won't be here 99 years.
Yes.
That person that builds something they want to have carry on to their grandchildren, how can they get any kind of peace of mind for 99 years if they're not physically here? What can they do in that situation?
So you subject it to land title. That is the next step. So in every land that you buy, actually, you're buying from the, so whether it's the government, let's say you're buying from a family,
Mm.
you're buying from the family, but you would also have to buy that same land from the government.
Always.
Always.
Okay.
It's always two-sided.
This is very good information.
So you pay what you have to pay to the family, but then you also have to pay something to the government to make sure that it's kept in their books. They give you a proper title hold of the land for that particular number of years.
Mm.
Yes, and it's legally binding. It's in the land bill. So after that, the family cannot just come one day and say, look, yeah, we gave it to your father 99 years, but we cannot wait any longer, and we're taking the land from you. No.
So it sounds like what you're telling me is you have to have airtight business when you want to do land acquisition,
Exactly.
which involves the lawyer, the due diligence, asking the right questions. This is something that you said that's interesting to me, and I want you to explain it. You mentioned that you have to buy the land from the family and the government. And I'm not asking you to do like a big historical overview of like why it's like that in Ghana, but maybe just provide a little bit information of like why land is like that in Ghana in terms of like why um, why do you have to buy from the family as well as the government, especially people watching, they're used to one stop shop, but it's a little bit different in Ghana. So why is it like that here?
So in our laws, all lands are vested in the government of Ghana. All the lands, because of in-ground assets, gold, minerals, and other things. So they are first vested in the government of Ghana. Meanwhile, there are families that have owned the land. So for them, you pay royalties. So actually, what we refer to as sales, they are royalties that you're paying to them for that long term, accrued royalties that you pay into the families.
Okay.
And with the government, as I've said, it's all vested in the government of Ghana to take care of all the lands in Ghana here. So as much as you pay to the families, you also need to do the needful by making sure that the government has consent about you owning that land.
Mm. Now, let's transition to that person that's watching and they're asking themselves, what if I want to buy land for the purposes of building and selling or building and investing? And I'm interested in somewhere near, let's say, the Accra area, because a lot of people come. Are there some areas where you recommend? I know opportunity is everywhere, so it depends. But are there some areas that you would recommend where people would start looking into, specifically for the building and investing part?
Well, so as you said, with lands, it all boils down to location, location, location. What do I mean by location? For others, it's about the convenience, ease of movement. Others are looking for a reputable area to live where they think everybody would want to be there. For others, it's about scenery, the landscape, how beautiful the area is, the ecosystem of the place. So it boils down to an individual. For Accra, whilst you would want to stay in an eco-friendly environment, for others it's about the ease to the airport, the ease to go to convenience stores. I mean, ease of movement, I can get this here and then that. But for others, they would want to go a bit further from all the noise because he needs his peace of mind. He wants to enjoy the environment in which he is. So it depends on an individual actually, whether you would want to do the convenience way or you would want to go even further and get it cheaper so that you can really bring it up to that standard where people would say, no, I love this place. So for me, I don't put a spin on everybody buying lands in Accra. I would ask you, explore. Just go around the whole country. We have beautiful sceneries. We have beautiful places with a lot of opportunity. So don't just come and then see Accra and say, look, I want Accra. Just go out there, look at the lands, and then see the opportunities that are out there before you even...
Now, is land in Ghana sold Like, talk about the dimensions by which land is sold. Is it only sold in plots, acres? How is land typically sold in Ghana?
Well, so this is it. For building purposes, for residential, for commercial, they do them in plots.
A plot is normally how big?
Well, I'll speak in terms of feet. I'm not so much conversant with the meters. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
You know, the whole world does meters, but
Meters,
America does
yes,
feet.
exactly.
America
So,
has its own system.
yeah, so I would want to talk about feet. It used to be 100 feet by 100 feet, but then as land became so expensive and added, so people decided to cut it down. And now I know people are selling 100 by 70, others are doing 100 by 80, others are even doing 80 by 70. So these are all the questions that you need to ask when you are interested in buying land. You should know the dimensions. Make sure nothing is hidden from you. Make sure you know what you're going in for. Because sometimes these things are not clearly spelled out, and then you go in and then they tell you something else, and they say, no, but that's not what I bargained for. So usually when you're starting to inquire, make sure you know all these things that, okay, what dimension are you giving to me? Is it 70 by 80? Is it 70 by 100 or 70 by 100 by 80
Wow.
feet?
So what would then be some of the other really important questions that non-citizen interested in buying land needs to ask, outside of what are the dimensions? What are some of those other questions?
The lease agreement is very critical that you ask the lease years, because as I said, they are silent on them. People do not say them, and then you go, you buy, and then later it tells you, no, this lease is only for 25 years. Meanwhile, you are thinking, oh, they said land is 99 years, so how come I got 25 years? Others have even used that 25 years, and now they are in their 7th year. It's like 7 years lease on the property, you don't know, and then you go and buy them. What happens to you? I have a funny story. Not a story, but it really happened. Okay. So a friend of mine bought a land and then decided to travel outside, went to the States. He did all his documents. Whilst buying, he did not even question, he did not even ask the number of lease that is left on the parcel of land. He traveled outside, spent 10 years there, came back. He has money now to go and build. He came and somebody else is putting his building on that. He said, who is that? The land belongs to me. They asked you, go and bring your documents. He brought the documents, and the lease on his, the lease agreement was that it was only left with 10 years. And he's already gone to the States, spent 10 years of his life there.
Wow.
So he's lost his property.
So is it that he didn't read his lease? So it was written, but he wouldn't read it?
Yes.
Wow.
Sometimes to those selling, landowners, those selling will be silent about it because they know it inures to their benefit, so they usually don't tell you about this. So you ask the hard question, you get the response, and then.
So from what you're saying, I know that for some of you guys watching, it can sound very scary. Like, I don't know if this is worth it. Maybe share one or two success stories, right? You in real estate, land acquisition, some of those people who had the idea, they wanted to do it, they did it, and maybe what they're doing now with the land that they have. Well,
so I have some few clients. He wouldn't want me to mention his name, but then he's done a lot of land purchases which didn't go right. And someone introduced him to me. So, with all the skepticism that he knows, actually he is a Ghanaian. He is a Ghanaian staying outside there, so he knows all about this. So, first of all, he would want to ask all the. I told you, look, hey, I'm referring straight to the chief who owns the land. Apparently, the chief is also a learned person, a professor, so they had a proper interaction. He asked all the necessary questions. He came in, he bought 10 acres from the beginning.
10 acres?
Yeah, 10 acres.
Wow.
And then he was happy because the man gave him longer time to pay. He finished paying and said, look, Nana, the way you did the transaction with me, I'm happy. So now I want 40 acres more.
Wow.
Yes. So Nana gave it to him.
Wow.
Gave him so much years to pay.
Wow.
And then Nana said, okay, I've also enjoyed your company. I've enjoyed the way you did business with me, so I would even want to make you a developmental chief in my area. Would you want to accept that?
Wow.
This is how it goes. If you find someone who is trustworthy, someone whose words
Wow.
you could believe.
And I think this is also a very important message for people that are watching this that are doing real estate and stuff like that in Ghana. If you do business the right way, with integrity, with honesty, it's just going to multiply your business.
Exactly.
It's just going to multiply your business. Now, but before we wrap up here, I just want to give people an idea, right? Everybody wants to come to Accra. So let's say that person, and maybe you don't have to give us specific numbers. Let's say, imagine somebody wants to buy 70 by what? 80?
Yeah.
80 plots
Yeah.
in one of the happening areas in Accra, East Legon, Trisaco, an area like that. Give us a general price of what that could be. And then let's say somewhere who's traveled maybe a little bit further out past Abri, maybe like
Abri, Mashirase, and all
or
those
Koforidua.
Koforidua.
Yeah, so let's give us an average price of like the happening area in Accra versus an area like that.
All right, so a place like around the Tetekwashi, right about that is you know the place I'm referring to, where the mall is.
Yes.
70 by 80, you should get it around. In dollar term, you should be going around, hitting around. I'm even scared to say the price.
No, because people need to know.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, because what they hear from sometimes on the outside is, you know, come to Ghana where the land is cheap, and they just hear Ghana. They don't know location. So please mention generally, realistically.
Yeah. So $700,000.
You said 700.
I'm telling you.
$700,000. You hear that?
Yeah.
For one plot of land in some of those happening areas that you're just flocking to in Accra.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you go a little bit further, Koforidua or something. And you guys, you see the map. The map is right there on the screen, so you see the distance between the two, right? So,
Koforidua, they'll be excited to give you 100 by 80 at $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even do the mathematics on how much of a fraction of a price that is. And like you said, it depends on the vision of the person, the purpose of the land. Now, obviously, if you're trying to build the next, Accra Mall, location matters a whole lot. So as somebody watching this, maybe what would be your top 2 or 3 pieces of advice for that person that's seriously thinking about buying some land in Ghana? Maybe something outside of what you said already.
Yeah. I will advise that just come, survey, enjoy the place, make a cursory visit, look around, and then go back and then decide. Don't just take a quick decision. I think we are living in a place where things are not real. I mean, I see too much of overhyping. I could go further, get it cheaper. I could get beautiful views for a giving. So why would I want to spend my hard cash and then come and live in a concrete jungle with all the traffic, with all the noise and all the... So for me, I would always tell people wanting to invest in Ghana that they should just come, look around. They shouldn't make any hasty decision. Just look around, enjoy the place. Go outskirts, go to the interlands and enjoy the place, and then later make a decision on them.
Wow. Well, I know that you're very busy and you have so much information to share, so we definitely will have to bring you back for a part 2. But the information that you shared today was truly valuable in helping us to understand the basics, the one-on-one of land acquisition here in Ghana. So thank you so much for being with me today. And you guys, thank you so much for being with me today. I know this was great information that you highly benefited from. As always, like this video, make sure you subscribe. Until next time, peace.